Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson Football Channel. It's been a few days. It's been a few days since I posted a video. It's been a few weeks, maybe even a few months since we can actually sit here and make a video that actually holds a bit of clarification, something that is an official thing as opposed to just being like pending, waiting, announcement, what's happening? Can someone answer the question? Todd Boehly and Clearlake Capital have completed the takeover of Chelsea Football Club, which means the Roman Abramovich era is officially over. And I want to start by just obviously cementing 21 trophies in 19 years is absolutely insane. It is mind-blowing. The way that this transition is exciting me is because of the way that Todd Boehly approaches this whole thing. And when people take over football clubs nowadays, there's never been a takeover of the magnitude of this one at Chelsea Football Club. And what Todd Boehly has done very well is say all of the right things, which, of course, when you say all the right things, you give nobody any real optimism or any opportunity to not have optimism, if I can get my sentences out correctly. It's been a few days since the last video, but everything that Todd Boehly is saying is very exciting to me. The fact that he talks about minute by minute on the pitch, they're going to be giving everything, they're going to be involved in everything. It's stuff like this that really excite me because he's focusing more on the footballing element. There isn't little sales pitches about developing the brand. We know that Todd Boehly, as an American, is probably going to try and absolutely build Chelsea's profile in the US. This isn't all bad. When people think about football clubs being ran solely as business, money-making entities, there are ways in which you can go about doing this where you can still develop brand image, you can still focus on trying to maximize profits of a football club without it all being a massive commercial shit show, I'm gonna say, that we've seen from the likes of Manchester United, Arsenal. And I think that Todd Boehly's actual love of sport and the fact that he does own so many sporting entities in the US can only really bode well for Chelsea, because when you're a sporting person, you don't really eliminate what sport is all about, which is competition, competitiveness, winning. And I think, and apart from some of the obvious issues, that we are saying goodbye to an incredibly successful era, which it's going to be incredibly difficult to top. We've also got to remember that because of the way that football is now, because of the disparity still with the distribution of finance, Chelsea in 2003, when Roman Abramovich came in, immediately became one of the richest clubs. We had a financial backing, a financial power that was significantly higher than virtually anybody else in the competition. When we look here in 19 years' time, if Chelsea can get even close to 21 major honours in 19 years, then I don't think Chelsea Football Club can ever be regarded as something that's going into the ground ever again. There was a few thoughts a few months ago when the Abramovich sanctions came in, where devil's advocate, worst case scenario was their issues between Russia and Ukraine get worse and worse. Roman Abramovich ends up suffering more and more as a result. The government dig their heels in. I don't really think there was ever a genuine idea that this could happen. I think the UK government, despite all of our worries and concerns, I think the government always wanted to get this done as quickly as possible. Yes, there are political issues that got in the way that made this even happen in the first place, but Chelsea were never going to go out of business. There was never going to not be lots and lots of potential parties looking to buy Chelsea Football Club, whether that is for the kind of Todd Boehly story where he's got the cash for a start, he's a sporting person, supposedly supports Chelsea, which is also very useful for us. There would have been a lot of people that were trying to come in and buy Chelsea Football Club who were simply looking at it as, it's up for sale, let's go and buy it. It's like, you know, when you buy a plot of land, but then you're never going to live in the house on that plot of land. It's business. You buy it, you build it, you sell it, you move on. It could have been a lot worse, this for Chelsea. I think of all of the candidates that we saw from minute number one, we have ended up with the best of all of that bunch. I'm not going to say a bad bunch, a good bunch, or a mixture of everything is exactly what it was. The way that he's speaking at the moment, we only have reason to be optimistic. 200 million is the reported transfer budget this summer. That is a lot of money. There are some absolute musts that we need to do in this transfer market, and then, as long as Chelsea can manage to navigate, negotiate the right players in the right positions, then I firmly expect that there's going to be some big name signings that end up coming through this summer. I think it is incredibly important this summer, above anything else, that Chelsea's business begins in a smart manner. There was a part of me that was thinking, it could be really nice if we just go out and get a couple of big names to kind of ignite that spark and to maybe instill some fear into opponents. But I think we're past that point now, at least in the Premier League, where Liverpool might be losing Mane, came second, lost the Champions League final. Liverpool under Klopp are a machine that are well oiled. They are a team who know what they're doing. Luis Diaz comes in January, probably in hindsight, knowing that one of Mane or Salah was going to leave. So when Liverpool look at their transfer business this summer, yes, they've got to replace Sadio Mane. They've already, before Mane left, had 5 players in that front three that has been so good. And then Luis Diaz comes in as well. You've also got Manchester City, who, under Guardiola, 4 trophies, Premier League titles in 5 years. Then, what do they go and do? They go and sign the hottest property striker in world football. A striker who, let's be honest, they've needed it. Aguero, for a couple of years, even in his last season, wasn't the same. They've needed a striker. They go and buy Erling Haaland. Manchester City and Liverpool, prime examples of exactly what Chelsea need to formulate under Todd Boehly, which is a long-term vision that is based on developing players not only from the academy, which we know Chelsea's academy is rich, it is delightful. But what we need to do now is we need to use the catalyst of the idea that Todd Boehly will be using data-driven analysis to be able to then funnel Chelsea's transfer plans into action. We need to action this as soon as possible. And this summer, it is absolutely key that we eliminate as little risk with our transfer business as possible. There needs to be players that are coming through the door immediately that answer the problems that Chelsea have. And I think there's only really one man at this moment in time who holds the keys, which are the answers to this question. And that man is Thomas Tuchel, the manager. Todd Boehly, Clearlake Capital, they're coming in, and initially they're coming in to save Chelsea as a business. I don't know how much work they've been doing behind the scenes to be able to formulate a strategy, a structure for the business incomings, outgoings this summer at Chelsea. But what I do know is if there is one man who should be given the free rein to make decisions this summer regarding who's going to leave, who's going to come in, it has to be Thomas Tuchel. We saw it at the beginning of this season. We were playing some amazing football. We had a tactical system that were beating big teams, getting good results against other really big teams, and then we got 2 injuries that absolutely halted the season, derailed everything, and then 2 more moments, Lukaku interview. Then we've also got the issue with the Abramovich losing Chelsea Football Club. Tuchel did an incredible job. And when new owners come in, and the onus is on how much are they going to spend? Are they going to try and make a big splash? I think it is so key that Chelsea remains smart here. Yes, there is big money being played around with the ideas of Declan Rice. There are the Jules Koundé signings, who we know is a solid player, but at 5'10", we've also got to remember we probably need to bring in another taller centre-half so that we're not conceding 20 goals next season from corners. There are so many little moments of nuance here that we have to be so clinically careful with. So if I was Todd Boehly right now, it's a message to you, Mr. Boehly. I would listen to Thomas Tuchel more than anybody else around you, because this man knows exactly what we need. As the song goes, Thiago at the back, Timo in attack. Will Timo still be in attack, or will we have to change the song? I don't know. But yeah, I've been away for about 4 or 5 days, been dealing with a load of stuff. May has been a month that I'm very delighted to wave goodbye to, but it is now June. And if you're not yet subscribed to the George Benson Football channel, then I highly suggest you do so, because we're going to have a big month here. And there's going to be another video uploaded later on today, so make sure that the bell notifications are turned on so that you do not miss anything. We're going to be talking Lukaku to Inter Milan and why that makes me nervous a little bit. How am I going to pull this one out of the bag? You'll have to wait and see. and there's also a load of transfer stories that need addressing. We're going to move fast, at least I hope we do, but like I said today, clinical and data-driven, please, so that we're not wasting money on players and continuously falling behind the leaders in the Premier League. Thank you guys for watching. Come on, you Blues.